everyone. So we are in another episode of EduHubSpot exclusive L&D podcast series. And today we have Neha Mahajan, who has more than a decade of experience in training. And currently she is working with LinkedIn as a training manager. So thank you, Neha. Thanks for being a part of today's podcast. And I would really like to appreciate if you can just, let our audience know something from your end.
Thank you so much, Yogita. First and foremost, thank you for having me over here. I think what you guys are doing is amazing and, just spreading so much of awareness about the L&D piece out there in the world. I think kudos to that. So like you mentioned, I work as a training manager here at LinkedIn, but I have been in the training in the L&D space for about 15 years now, a little over 15 years. And yeah, please go ahead and ask me what else would you like to know?
So I think I'll be just starting with, quick casual questions with you, Neha. Like when someone asks that what you do, so what do you tell them? Like your job title or the actual mission?
I think that's a great question. Honestly, for me, titles, yes, I know they are important for your own personal satisfaction and for sometimes for your own personal ego. But I think titles, more than the title, I think it's the kind of impact that you create in what you do that really matters for me. I literally joke in front of a lot of people and I tell them that I call myself a training baby because I literally feel that I grew in this particular field. I was very young when I got into training and started my career with something else. And then I, of course, got into L&D. And I think it's been a very fulfilling journey so far. But yes, if you ask me what I do in my role as a training manager, I think I like to help people improve their capability. I like to help people improve their confidence. I like to help people in excelling in what they do. So I think for me, those small little moments also create a big impact, which overall leads to a lot of change.
Oh, right.
Okay,
Thanks, Neha.
great.
So with that, let's move on to the next question. And the next question would be, you have spent, years helping others grow. And who has had the biggest influence on your own learning journey?
Well, I
If you
think a
can name.
lot of people, I think I have been fortunate to learn from some of the best mentors, leaders, even some of my learners. I think as somebody who's a part of the training fraternity, one thing I personally abide by or I really follow is to have a learning mindset and to have an open mindset all the time. Learning just does not happen inside a classroom or in a session. Today I can learn something from you, or you could learn something from me. So I think it's important to have that mindset wherein you have adaptability and you are open in terms of what is coming your way. So I think, yeah, and a lot of times, every difficult conversation that you're having with your leader, with your peers, sometimes answering those difficult conversations can also teach you a lot. So I think I would not say that I can give credit to just one person or one incident or one organization. I think it's the so many different components that have led to where I am today. And I think I just want to say that all of those things have had a massive influence on my journey.
Thanks, Neha. And was there a defining moment that changed how you think about, learning and development?
Absolutely. I think initially when I started my career at that point in time, for me, my mindset used to be that, okay, the learning only happens when the session ends. I used to
Mhm.
think that, okay, I have gone ahead and delivered my part and now the learning ends. But I think that has been a biggest shift in terms of my mindset, wherein I think that it's more about capability building. It's not just about what you're covering inside the classroom or in a particular session with learners, but I think it's also about how much are they applying, how much the leaders are endorsing that culture further, how much of a difference you have been able to make when it comes to shifting their mindset or changing their habits. So I think I have really evolved from that space, so to say.
Okay. My next question, would be on you have worked across training, coaching, and leadership development and capability building. So you have to choose one, like which of these still excites you the most today?
I think for me, I would say Leadership trainings definitely excite me a lot. That's one. And second would be capability building really excites me a lot because, and I think it's very interlinked in a way because when it comes to capability building, you are just not talking about one particular layer in an organization. You are literally talking about capability at any level, any function, or any department for that matter. And when you align it with the bigger business goal that you are trying to achieve, I think that is a big game plan. That is what makes a bigger difference here. So I would say capability building definitely excites me a lot at this stage of my career.
Understood. And what is one of the assumption about, L&D that you think is outdated today?
I think there has been an assumption. I would say now I think it's become a lot better, but I would say that I have personally dealt with it also for so many years, wherein people think that training or L&D is just one-off function. And people end up thinking that, they chill a lot. And because, it's also a support function across organizations. It's not really a revenue generating function, so to say. So I think that has always been an assumption for a number of years for people, but I think I'm happy to say in the last 3 to 4 years, and especially with a lot of AI advancements coming into the picture, it's changing big time because now people know that we are more or less like consultants. We are pretty much partners with every business unit, with every business function. We work on very, very strong collaboration grounds, and we are just not any support function which is there in an organization to exist.
Wow. That's really a great answer, Neha. I also have, a little more interesting question for you. And I think
Sure.
it is just going like a rapid fire round for you. But I'm so, excited to have you and have a lot of questions. My another
Sure.
questions would be if you, walked into a new organization tomorrow.
Mhm.
So what would tell you, that learning is genuinely valued there?
I think that's a very, very good question, Yogita, and especially for a lot of people. I'm not only saying just me walking into an organization, any external party walking into any organization, any customer, any client walking into an organization. If you really want to observe how well a learning culture is built there, I would literally start with their leaders and their managers. I would literally want to see and observe that how much they are endorsing the culture of learning. How many conversations are they having with their team members? Are they teaching them, coaching them? Are they spending enough time coaching their team members or not? Are they talking about new advancements that are happening in the world out there and trying to build that adaptability mindset? I think these are some of the things that I would really like to observe if I walk into a new organization. So I would really want to start with their leaders and managers.
Thanks. Having said that, when we are talking about the leaders, what leadership capability are organizations under investing in today's time?
I think it's become better, I would say, Yogita, but I think definitely when it comes to from the last so many years, what I have seen is that there is a lot of investment when it comes to capability building that happens at the bottom line, at the bottom layer. Okay, the ones who are holding the fort. But when it comes to really building the capability or building the readiness with the leaders or the managers, I think there were clearly areas of opportunities that I had seen in the last couple of years, but I definitely see that improving now because I think more and more organizations are realizing that while you want to train and you want to get your workforce, the frontline workforce ready, but at the same time, you also need strong custodians to be able to continue and sustain that culture. And that is exactly where the managers and the leaders and their coaching capabilities come into the picture. So I think more and more investment also for the managers and leaders is super crucial at this point in time.
Great. So with this, we'll move on to the next question. And the next question would be like if every manager could develop one skill tomorrow, what should it be?
Are you talking about a technical skill or are you talking about a soft skill?
You can just choose anything which is really you feel should be there in any manager.
I think very, very important to be super important to
Wow.
be open to feedback. And honestly, I think that we need it all the more now because there is such a technology shift, there is such a work environment shift that is happening across different organizations, and it's the time to have that open, honest dialogue. And you would only be able to have that open, honest dialogue when you are open to feedback not only from your super bosses, but from the ones that you are coaching. That means your immediate team members, because those are the ones who are actually running your performance. Those are the ones who are actually getting you the numbers. Those are the ones who are implementing your strategy. So I think super important for leaders to be open to feedback, asking the right
Mhm.
questions. Don't just wait for the performance appraisal time. Don't just wait for the mid-year or the year-end reviews to ask your team members that, okay, would you like me to change something in the way my work approach has been? Do you have any feedback for me? Do you want me to do something differently? Is there something new that you would want to learn that I can partner and support you with? What additional support would you need from me? These are some really, really important questions that actually should be a part of every manager or leader's conversation throughout the year.
Like saying this based on the experience that you have seen. And I agree to this because there are many incidents that the old pattern have been followed and the feedback is towards, it's just one way. But
Very
right,
one
this is something
directional.
one directional. Yes, yes. So absolutely, I totally agree to this. So Neha, like if you had only 90 days to improve workforce capability, where would you start?
I think I would start with the basics, Yogita. I would first want to understand what is it that we are trying to achieve. A very, very strong business alignment actually helps you gain a great amount of clarity, and then you can set your direction, you can make your strategy, you can decide that what is going to be your entire game plan. So I think first I would like to align with the business to understand that what is it that we are trying to achieve. And then the next step for me would be to be able to understand that what are the current practices, what are the current protocols that they have in place, and what has worked for them in the past and what has not worked for them. So pretty much a part of your TNI and TNA, which is also known as training needs identification and training needs
Right.
analysis.
Analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. Post which, once I have done all of that, that's when you come up with solutions. And you come up with multiple solutions because the idea here is to collaborate. The idea here is not to just create some content and deliver it to the organization and tell them that, okay, let's go ahead and implement it. The idea is to be consultants here. The idea here is to be solution providers, to present solutions and understand that how much it is feasible for us to be implement these solutions. Have a phased wise approach. Of course, it also depends on the gravity of the business situation that we are trying to take care of. But I'm a big fan of starting slow and probably building some momentum over a period of time if we have enough time with us. If time is a constraint, then of course we accelerate. I think a lot of adaptability is required when you're trying to come up with a business solution, and a lot of collaboration at the same time as well.
So thanks, Neha. And my next question would be, what's that one thing that every learning partner or a training provider should understand before approaching to the L&D team and L&D leader?
I think one thing that you should always keep in mind is that your role is not only to just provide content as a solution and just tell them that, okay, we can come in and we can deliver it for you. I
Mhm.
think the idea here is to have a consultative approach. The idea here is to really be a learning partner here to solve the bigger problem. And that's what I would want to say.
Thanks, Neha. So my next question would be, what's harder to build, skill, mindset, or habit?
I would
Sure.
say that first it would be habits, because habits definitely require some consistency and some discipline. And second, I would say the mindset, because mindset shift is also very, very difficult. And that is exactly where we need managers and leaders and coaches to be those strong endorsers and endorse the culture of learning in every organization and in their respective departments. So, yes, that's what I would like to say. Skills is something that can be built, by will, by force. If it's required for my job, I will learn it whether I like it or not like it. But I would say habits and the mindset is definitely harder to build.
Thanks. And one advice for our, audience at last as a message that you can share with your experience from the learning development and, the capability building. So what that one message would be from your end, Neha?
I think I would like to say that the future does not belong to those who know the most. The future actually belongs to the one who are open to learn, who are curious, and who are ready to adapt. So you don't have to be the one person in the room who knows the maximum or the most, but always strive to be that person who's open to feedback, who's open to learn something new, and at the same time, you are adapting to your current business environment.
Thanks, Neha.